Welcome back to 5 builds in 5 days. Today we're gonna work on a Miata. Specifically today we're working on an NA Miata. All we're doing is building a clear set of Miata lights, and it's one of the easiest builds that we do. So let's get these lights open. As you can see, this is gonna be very, very simple. All we need to do is bake these open and pop out these 2 red diffusers in here. I do have a full video on this. We're just gonna knock this out today for the daily grind and get these shipped out. If you've seen the full how-to video, then you know that we are gonna bake these open. They are butyl sealed, thankfully, so it's gonna be easy. We're gonna go to the garage oven here. We're going to turn the oven up to 230. I typically run about 220, but it's already set at 230. So we're gonna put the lights in the oven and get them baking. We're gonna do that for about 8 to 10 minutes, but while it is in the oven, I'm gonna quickly show you the tools that we're gonna use. Now, like I've said probably several times, is that this set is really simple. So all we need is a set of lights, preferably chrome, then a small screwdriver. I like to use these little pocket screwdrivers. You can get really cheap ones on Amazon. That's gonna help us to get in between the back housing and the lens. Next up, you're gonna need a bigger screwdriver so you can actually start to pry the lens a little bit more to get where this one won't. This isn't going to give you as much leverage as something like this. Once you have it open, I like to use something even a little bit bigger so that we can actually pop those diffusers off. You could probably get away with the medium size, but if you want it to go faster and a little bit easier, you can go with the big one. Once you have removed the red diffusers, it's time to put the lens back on, and we're going to do that with retro rubber. This is going to be the best butyl on the market, so I would definitely recommend getting some of this, and now they sell it on Amazon, so that helps a ton. And the most obvious thing you're gonna need is some sort of heat source. An oven is preferred, but if you don't have it, you can use a heat gun, or you can even use a hair dryer. The whole goal is just to heat up the butyl seal on there so that you can actually take the lens off. A really important one that we're gonna need is clamps. This is what we're gonna use to actually hold the lens back onto the housing so that we can actually have that butyl set in place while it cools off. And a few microfibers or some sort of towel that you can put on top of the lens, because we are going to clamp this directly onto the lens. Let's get it open. Okay, like I said, we are going to start with the pocket screwdrivers, and we're going to start up here. There's a tab here and a tab here that we need to loosen up. The tabs are molded into the lenses, so you can stick one pocket screwdriver there. You can take your regular screwdriver and go right next to it, give it a small pry, and it is going to lift that lens out. Go right over here to the other one and do the same thing. Okay, the lens is lifted, it's not removed. Now we go to the bottom side here, and there's a tab right where you can see the squares. On either of those, we need to lift it. So for the front one here, I'm going to go right to the left of it, get my screwdriver in there, pull up. It's a lot thinner right here. For whatever reason, they made it thinner, so if you get your screwdriver there, it will lift the tab and lift the lens. Same with the back side here. If we go right to the left of it, it's thinner on the lens and it lifts the tab. Unfortunately, it looks like the top reseated itself, so we need to get this loosened again. Okay, now that it is all the way loose, we can start to pull apart. All these little strings you don't want to get onto the chrome, because that is going to ruin the finish. Gonna keep that screwdriver in there to lift the tab. We're gonna keep pulling on the butyl. There we go. Step 1 is done. Step 2, let's get these red diffusers out. Okay, so big screwdriver. We're going to put the big screwdriver at the very top of this red lens. Shove it in there as far as you can. That's what she said. And then twist. It's going to break the plastic weld that they have on here. Once it's broken, you can actually take the screwdriver and pop it from the back. And out it comes. One down, one to go. Same thing with the little one. Just put it right in there and there we go. Now it's time to get the butyl prepped. So for this, I just use a little pair of wire snips, cut it, and then you can actually see we have some recycled in there, so we'll have to pull this out and kind of massage it a little bit. Okay, we're gonna stretch the butyl out so that it fits into the trough and then set it all the way around the edges here. Fill everything back up, make sure it's not gonna be leaking any water. Okay, that trough is fully filled up, so now we are going to clean out the lens and the back housing to make sure that any dust that may have gotten in there over the last 2 to 5 minutes is completely out, and then we can put the lens on. Okay, we've got the lens in place. Now it's time to put it back in the oven. If you notice, it's on there, but it is not seated all the way down. If you try to push this all the way down, it's gonna crack the lens. So back in the oven for another 8 minutes. Okay, that is hot. Now it's time to put the clamps on. So when I'm doing clamps, I like to do one side with one microfiber and the other side with another. We're obviously doing microfiber so that the lens doesn't get scratched. Now, the main thing when doing this is making sure that these tabs get set back in place. You do it just like this, which this is kind of the easiest since there's actually room to clamp on the ends here instead of like the center. You do have to go back in and check. I'm assuming that is not sitting all the way, and I was right. So, for the tabs, we can probably just go in with our hands. There we go, that is much better. And we need to check the bottom, which it is not seated all the way either. So let's get that tab in place, get this middle part going. Okay, this is fully clamped up. Now what we need to do is just wait for this to cool off. Once it has fully cooled off, then we can remove the clamps. Give it probably 20 to 30 minutes. There we go. Got these fully cleared Miata taillights wrapped up and ready to ship out. I do love the way that these things kind of sparkle in the light. One small thing I like to do, which I don't even know if anyone cares, but I put cling wrap on before shipping out. So we're gonna do that real quick, and then we're gonna get these things boxed up. And there we go. This set is fully ready to ship out, just like we never touched it.